Now this is my old X5. I got massively scammed with this car. A guy from Birmingham sold it to me and it was an absolute death trap.
I usually think I'm pretty good at buying cars, but I don't know how we're going to get home, to be honest. I'm meant to be towing with this on Sunday.
All the rear brake lines were leaking and he let me drive it home knowing that. I almost crashed on the M6 because I had no brakes and it was one of the worst nights of my life. I spent the next few months fixing this car and in the end it was actually alright. It towed well, it took me all the way through Europe and back, and I thought maybe I just got a bad X5 when really they're good cars. So I bought a new X5 and I really expected good things.
Good morning everybody, here is my X5. Now I actually got this to replace my old X5 because I wanted something newer, I wanted something nicer, and I wanted something more reliable. We've had this car for around about a couple of months now, 2 or 3 months, and we have done quite a lot of miles in it, but some serious issues are starting to show. Now the first thing is that the left hand side of the car, I'm not sure if you'll be able to tell on camera, the left side of the car has dropped. It's sagging, it's a lot lower than the side on the right, so we definitely have some kind of airbag issue. I have measured it and it's around 1.5 inches, maybe 1 inch lower on this side than it is from the right. Now I pray to God it's just an airbag issue, so we have got some airbags inside. Ronnie, who owned this car, has very kindly supplied some new airbags for the rear, so we're going to be fitting those today and we're going to pray it's not a compressor issue or something else. Now the second issue with the car, that as you might be able to see there, the diff is wet and it's leaking onto the exhaust and it does smell, and I don't know how long the diff has been leaking for, but that is bad because we're going to be doing a lot of towing. Now this has got a different diff, this has got the tow pack in it, so it's got the big 4 litre diff in there, or the bigger diff, so it's very good and it tows amazing, but we definitely don't want a diff leak because we're doing some long drives in this car. Now the third and final issue is the one I'm actually most worried about. I was driving this car home and it stunk in here. I mean stunk. The whole cabin was filled with smoke and I genuinely thought the thing was about to set on fire. It turns out that it was actually coming from the engine bay. So I had my heaters on full blast because it was cold, and it turns out the smoke is actually coming from the engine bay and the cabin was sucking it all in and blowing it through the cabin, and it stunk. And what it was oil. It was burning oil. Now what happens on these, apparently they have a really common issue of the rocker covers going and they leak oil onto the manifold, which is right down here, and then that's right next to where it sucks in the heat for the blowers, and it just filled the cabin. Honestly, I thought I was going to pass out with the amount of oil in there. So we've actually got quite a few issues with this car, and something else has just happened this morning. So we're going to pull it inside, we're going to start fixing these problems. I've actually got a 1:24 scale replica of Charles Leclerc's 2022 Formula 1 car. Now I actually got this in this month's subscription of Ferrari F1 Legends from D'Agostini, where you can do exactly that. Collect all the Ferrari F1 Legends, including Niki Lauda, Michael Schumacher, Fernando Alonso, and so much more.
D'Agostini is a collectible company that brings historic characters and products to life. In this subscription, you'll get a flawlessly accurate 1:24 scale model of the cars, which include accurate aerodynamic profiles and bodywork, intricate mechanical details, and so much more. You'll also receive magazines which include in-depth commentaries and information about the cars, how they're designed, interesting facts, the engineering achievements, history of the drivers, and so much more. In this subscription, you'll also receive awesome Ferrari-based gifts like Ferrari t-shirts, Ferrari caps, Ferrari cups, and even replica helmets of the drivers. I'm not sure about you, but I cannot wait for Schumacher's 2003 V10 version, which of course is included in this subscription. Head over to D'Agostini now to see exactly what you get in this subscription, or to see what other incredible replicas they have. Use my code on the screen now and my link in the description below.
So weirdly enough, it's not actually leaking from the seal. The drive shaft's popped out of the diff. You see it here, there's a big gap, and on that side there's no gap. And it's wet all around here as well. So obviously what's been doing, it's coming out and it's been flinging it. That's why it's all up here, all at the top, all around on the exhaust. You can actually see it getting all the way back here as well. So it's been coming out the drive shaft, and the drive shaft's been flinging it all over the place. We're going to try and nut this back in super tight, so we'll hit it here. and we'll get it proper tight in there, clean it all off, go for a drive and see if it gets any better. But we'll also check the fluid as well and top it up. We don't know how much it's lost.
So let's play that's a diff issue fix. Let's jack the car up, get the wheels off, and see what the hell's going on with this suspension. So first of all, I just sprayed them with some soapy water because I wanted to see if they were actually leaking or not. And to no avail. I couldn't see any bubbles coming from the bags at all.
So the guys here are saying the best way to do this is just to stab it with a knife. I've said, should I let it down? And they was like, nah, just stab it with a knife. Can I not? I want to do this. Oh, why is this making me nervous? Oh, I don't want to do it. Oh my god, that's nah. There's a lot of air in that. What's like this? Oh, that's rubbish. Well, that was disappointing. There's a locator tab at the bottom. You see at the bottom of the airbag there, there's two little plastic tabs at the side. That locks it into the bottom. And at the top, it's kind of just twisted in. So you put it in, twist it, and then lock it into the bottom. So first of all, we've got to get these two little tabs off. So I'm going to get a little screwdriver or a bar and just knock these two little tabs out of the way. So the two different airbags are actually different brands. This is a Phoenix, which I've never heard of, and I believe the other side is the stock one, or it's just not got a name on it. So there's the old airbag, and here is the new airbag. So we've got to change the line over, we've got to change the airline. Now this is an Arnott's one. This is probably like one of the best aftermarket airbag companies, I would say. Every time I've researched them, these are the ones that do all the airbags. We didn't get a standard BMW replacement one because they're like 4 times the price. And these have got really good reviews. So we've got Arnott's, so I'm just going to change both of them just so everything's the same. Now the airline in this is actually screwed in with a fitting, almost like a brake line. And this is just a push fit, which I don't know how I feel about it. And just get this one out of here first. So Charlie was saying just cut this rubber sleeve and then pull the airline out and then try and get the brass fitting off.
Once you've cut the rubber lip, just pull the airline out and we can throw this one in the bin. This is what's on the end of the line. We've got obviously like the nipple here, so I would say. We have this little brass retaining clipping, so obviously this pushes against that and that's how it tightens in. Now we need to get rid of this because the new one's just push fit, so I'm going to try and get a screwdriver in this little gap and just open this up just to get this end fitting off.
The new one, you literally just got to feed it through here and then just push it in, I believe. Don't feel good. So it's tight, obviously it has to seal air. Now the insert for this is straight to put the line through, but to actually put the line into the bag, it's on an angle. So you can't get it in. This doesn't bend like that. I can get the line in like this if I put it straight, but if it wants to go like that through there, it won't. And the annoying thing is, I can't put the line in and then press it into this groove because the groove is only designed for it to slide through it. So in other words, it's a fucking piece of shit. It was all like ribbed at the end, obviously, from where I unscrewed the thing. And obviously I was pushing it, and it was just like splitting the pipe. So cut all the shit off the end and then it's just gone straight in, so.
Now, of course, like anything else, once you've done one side, the other side takes about 10 times quicker.
Okay, so both sides of the airbags are in the top. There's about a 3 or 4 inch gap before they get into the arm at the bottom. So obviously we don't want to inflate them, and we need them tucking into the bottom arm. So I'm going to put the wheels on. What are you laughing at? And I'm going to jack down the car and slowly just jack it down until it pushes the arm into the bottom of the locators on the bags, and then turn the key on and it should inflate. Well, Gaz has got a new idea. He says just pull them down.
Back in, just so it gets it roughly in line then.
Yeah, so that's roughly it. So I'll just put, and then just put the wheels on and
yeah, I'll start that.
Start it up like that, yeah?
Start that bit of pull, push down.
Yeah. So you can just clip them in just by pushing them down. So it's fully clipped in. He's just done that with his hand. So I've been waiting for an opportunity to have the wheels off to put these wheel spacers on, and they've been in this box for about 2 months because it's annoying me. Obviously we don't like dead fitment. Now I've had the worst of fitment because obviously I've had one wheel 2 inches higher than the other, But hopefully that's fixed now. And they stick in too far. But they don't stick in that far, but we want the beefy look. So I've got some wheel spacers here. 20mm all the way around. A bit worried about the fronts, but the backs will be fine. It's converted them to nuts. Should they be like that? They're not flat. I hope there's indentation in the back of the wheel. Otherwise these ain't going off. I always have issues with wheel spacers. So, I always have issues with wheel spacers. One of those things. I can't put these on because for some reason they've converted them to studs, which isn't the end of the world, but that means I've got my original bolts through here, and I can't because obviously one of them is a lock and wheel nut. I can't get the lock and wheel nut on because the lock and wheel nut key won't go in there. So I need another normal wheel bolt. I hate anything to do with wheels. If you've watched the channel, you know how much I hate anything to do with wheels. It just annoys the hell out of me. So hopefully, I'm gonna have to see what they are. M14 by 1.5, I'm guessing. So hopefully, Eurocar parts have got some wheel bolts. Go to a shop and get some normal bolts and blah, 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 blah. The wheel spacer on, looks pretty beefy at the back, not gonna lie. A little bit worried about the fronts, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So I'm gonna drop it on the floor so we can see a decked out X5. Oh yeah. A decked out X5, let's drop it first. And then hopefully, it's level.
Look at the fucking camber.
Is it cambered in?
Yeah.
Is it still going in?
Yeah, keep going. Yeah, it's just because you're going low.
Let me just check it's actually in. What's going on here with this camber? Incredibly cambered in. Something's going on. So it's still lower on this side.
But it might be because of your camber. What's lower?
And for some reason I've got some absolute spicy boy negative camber. I've gone underneath, just obviously with the camber adjusting bolt. I've just pushed the wheel out as far as it'll go. So that's as straight as it'll get. But now it's massively towing in. I'm just going to quickly do the front spacers while it's on the ramp, and then we'll take it for a drive and see how it feels, and hopefully get it on the actual alignment thing and see what the hell's going on, and hopefully get it fixed. I don't know why the hell it's just gone like crazy negative camber, but at least it's straight now. I don't know what the hell that was about. Okay, so when this is on the floor, it actually looks okay. The camber's definitely sorted, but it definitely looked quite towed in when it was up in the air. But it's looking quite straight there. I've properly cleaned the diff with brake cleaner, and I know it's bone dry. So I'm going to take it for a drive and just crawl underneath and pray to God that it's not leaking, because I need to drive up to Manchester tomorrow and I've got a lot of driving this weekend. It's not ideal. This side is still definitely higher. Right, so we're going to top up the diff oil, and this will be good to see how much we've actually lost. So I've got some 75/90 in here. So we're going to top it up until it comes out of there, and hopefully I've not lost so much. Okay, so I don't know for sure how much oil it took, because obviously I didn't know how fast it was coming out, but what I do know is it was more than I'd like. I was holding that trigger for way longer than I'd like, so I think that's been doing that for quite a long time, and I reckon we've lost quite a lot of oil. So I mean, either way, I'm going to have to drive it home tonight. So what I'll do is, I know it's clean now. When I get home, I'll have a look underneath and see how bad it is, but I need to drive it to Manchester tomorrow. I don't have another car, because the DVLA decided you can't tax a car without a logbook. So I've got to wait 6 weeks for a logbook. I've got a van at home that I can't drive, even though it's insured, MOT'd. I can't drive it because I can't tax it. Stupid. So I wanted this to be done around 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and it's 5 o'clock. And then we still have to fit the rocker cover, which I'm absolutely terrified to do, because apparently it's a massive job. Injectors off and everything, right? Might be onto something here. I've got the scanner and I found a height adjuster. So it's asking me to put in how tall they are on each side. So this side's 750 millimeters, the other side's 734, so there's 16 millimeters difference. So it's asking me for the rim size, so I'm going to put 734. I don't know what's this going to do, but hopefully
Right, so that knows what it should be. So rear left. Right, so this one's too high. This is 18mm too high. Ride height confirmed. Rear left 7. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe this will now drop this side, because when I saw other X5s, I was like, this seems higher on this side. Production mode was deleted. Briefly start. Okay, it says the ride height has been adjusted, so let's go and have a look. So yeah, it has dropped this side, but it's also dropped this side even further. So it's still not fucking level. A little bit of good news here. I'm going to interrupt myself because I'm basically just chatting shit. When we actually got outside, it actually leveled out and it was fine. So the X5 is actually level now suspension-wise, which is great news. I got home and the diff wasn't leaking either, which is great news. But the good news and the positivity only lasted so long. Mate, it sounds like the prop shaft's falling off. This fucking car. So it's the prop shaft bearing in the centre of the car, and it's basically not even hanging on anymore. So we're gonna have to take the prop off. We're gonna have to change this bearing. Luckily we've got a bearing in there, and let's just get this prop off and change this damn bearing. Oh, also we've got a gearbox leak as well. To get to the prop shaft, we've got to take off all the under trays and all of the heat things which cover the exhaust as well, which basically just consists of about 12,000 8mm. Oh! It's fucked! Yeah, man. Going back like a draw, mate. Yeah, and I've got a fucking none of it. So I keep buying BMWs. I'm joking, the E30's cool. Actually, no, it's not. It's been a massive pain in the fucking house. Oh, that is well and truly gone. Look at that. Oh no. It's like fully split. And the centre bush has actually popped out as well, so. Oh. Now luckily after all the heat shielding was off, it was actually quite easy to get to the prop bolt. So you've got 3 holding the prop to the donut and then 3 holding the donut to the transfer box. Now with this being all-wheel drive, obviously the diff was stopping the prop from turning, so we have to keep jacking up the rear end and then spinning the prop so I can get access to the bolts. Now what I'm hoping for is that this just pulls down once I've got this off and we don't actually have to take it off the diff, because BMW discs are not just like normal bolts. They've got this huge reverse thread, horrible like multi-spline 27 stupid mil spire bullshit. So I'm hoping that we can just put it off here and get it down. Yes, that's what I wanted. Yes. Now I'm hoping. Look at there's the bearing. I'm hoping that we can just split it here. I think it's on a spline in the middle. I'm pretty sure it's just on the spline, so if we give this a bit of a tap. I know the bearing actually does go on that side, which is annoying. I'd hope the bearing goes on this side so we can just not hammer it when it's on the car, but unfortunately, we haven't got an option. Right, and we've got this absolute contraption. We're going to gun this. It's going to pull against this, and it's going to push against the drive shaft, and it's going to pull this. There we go. Now ideally I'd like to find a socket which fits around the bearing and I can hit it on nice and flat and true. Fortunately the prop shaft spline was so long that nothing was going to go round the spline and there's going to be the right size of the bearing, so I had to use an extension and I had to just work my way around and trying to get it on flat with a hammer and an extension. So the donut is ruined as well, it's all cracked. Donut's cracked in loads of different places, so we've got one of them coming now from GSS, so I'm going to whap this off. I can't feel any nuts into the side, so I'm hoping that this is just threaded right into the transfer box. I'm hoping to take these off. I'm pretty sure it will be. So another thing, not good, but this is another thing that is going to be changed and going to be new. You can see it's cracked. So we've got another one of these coming. Luckily this was dead easy to get off. Okay, so that fixed it, it's driving again, which is good news, but I honestly don't really know what to do now. I've lost trust in the car. Do I sell it and get something else? Is that a silly thing to do when I've done all these jobs and it's going to be more reliable? I honestly don't know. But for now, I love you all, and we'll see you in the next one.